anything. The buyer who's purchasing can cancel what they already previously purchased, what has already happened. Do y'all understand?
Right. Termination is basically when it comes for like both parties equally.
Discharge now, using that one payment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then another form of payment, though. Gotta pay attention. So they talk about discharge and payment. I'm talking about swiftly. They made 5 points about it. Part 5 is speaking about dishonor. Dishonor, man, what was said? How you excused from, or how they or why they are excused from dishonor. Why you are so important in coming in and making sure you honor. So that conversion of the instrument can happen. If you don't do nothing with the instrument and you keep silent and you don't express nothing and you let them keep applying stuff, ain't no conversion happening. They're going to accept what was in the past. So part 4 speaks to the liabilities of parties. Who's liable for what? You got to know that so that you don't think that this person who you're dealing with owes you something. The problem with us is that we feel entitled to that payment, entitled to remedy, when it ain't even yours to be entitled to. Do y'all understand that?
Yeah.
Y'all don't have no entitlement. They don't owe you nothing. You owe them. You got it. Give it. You being selfish, worried about what they did with another person because they was covering themselves at that time, forgetting that we do things from time to time. So stop complaining so much or you're going to be lost. You're going to feel destroyed in commerce. And whatever is yours that you have the power to give to another person going to be stolen, taken from you. Because you're going to remain or be liable when you're not even a party. You bring something that you see is happening between you and you don't see your name nowhere in it. But you're going to take on a liability like you do because you feel guilty. Guilty through association, relation. To pass things that you use with that plastic card. How y'all feel? What's y'all thought? Y'all like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Nah, what you said kind of makes sense. Like when you're reading through the agreement, it's talking about you, your, we, our, and all that stuff.
Us.
Understanding that is they're not talking to us. That's an agreement between those two parties, the financing agency, I'm assuming, and that seller.
Theirs.
So it's their problem. That's their stuff.
Don't talk about it. They know. They see it. They put you on notice about it. How can you help? You don't need help. You shouldn't need help because you should realize everything is already within you. You got to act like it. Doing things in a sense so that they can actually take the action. Then they got part 3 where they're talking about enforcement of instruments. UCC helps with performance and enforcement. You can't enforce nothing unless you feel a sense of entitlement. You're not entitled to that payment. If you feel like that, you're going to be stuck with that entitlement that you should really be giving to another person. Should making them feel the entitlement and you being grateful and feeling a whole wave of gratitude for being able to give it back, reissue it, gift it, so that they can purchase. That should never be in your mouth unless you use that plastic card and you talking to a department store because you bringing back something you actually did purchase. Directly, not indirectly. Do y'all understand how y'all feel? I'm gonna let y'all take the floor for a minute. What's y'all thoughts?
I'm like trying to take it all in, but it kind of brings me back to how we technically should not be receiving the statement that we receive because it's not ours and it's residential.
So if you know that,
to go back to them.
If you know that, act and be in third person so that you're not a party with liability. Right. You understand?
Yeah, I do.
That's what I try to tell people to be, but I can't force people to be them. It's like I can give y'all all the knowledge in the world, but y'all gonna take it to heart.
To my understanding, Kamaya, I feel what I got that we are supposed to get it because there is a default.
Yeah.
right?
Not even, yeah, it's
And
something
on
wrong
our
for
end, we're
another.
supposed to, I guess, make sure that is genuine.
Yeah, I like that word. Make sure that
Right.
things are more so for them to understand, just in case they don't understand genuine because they did things in lack of genuineness or good faith. Just in case they don't understand, you want to ensure that things are accurate and true to reveal what's real. Do you understand?
Yes.
That's when you begin to move and enforce different forms and types of instruments. Based on something that's reacquired, something that is repurchased, something that is reissued, something that is returned and sent back for many causes. Then you got part two where they speak about the negotiation, transfer, and endorsement. But y'all hear the word negotiation, what comes to your mind? What are y'all thinking about?
Between persons to reach an agreement.
So is it
How about
something
you have
legal or lawful?
Legal.
Lawful.
That's legal.
Yeah, I would say legal too, because now it's between person to person,
Exactly.
right? That's the legal
Yeah.
realm.
I would
I
say
would have
lawful.
it's definitely legal. Negotiation is a legal concept of negotiability, where you're dealing with payment and financing. You're able to accept the document through negotiation and assignment, transferring it or different endorsements. We got
Can't hear
another
you anymore.
dedicated to that. But this is legal. Legally, they negotiate. Lawfully, you don't have to negotiate who you are. Why do you have to legally negotiate that you don't belong in commerce if there's somebody trading you off for a price? That's not something you got to lawfully negotiate. They hope you do things lawful so that they can negotiate. You're not going to find no contract that say, hey, do things legally with me. They want to do that. They want to negotiate. How y'all feel? Especially the person who said lawful. I can't really see because it ain't popping up on me. How y'all feel?
Feel good. Yeah.
So correct me if I'm wrong. We do things lawfully so they can operate fully legally.
Yeah. And it's as simple as what I just said. Yes. Authorizing them with a single yes to charge credit. Yes to use what mostly our claim is yours, and they gonna say your account. But yes to the use of it. Not by you, because it ain't nothing you can do legally. But lawfully, you have the power to choose to handle what's in your possession the best way you see fit. And hopefully it should be for the benefit of others, always. That means that sharing should be a part of your language. If not, you're never going to have nothing to negotiate if you don't share an idea. Not share what I already know. Not share what I already done told you, but see what's happening and see how you can add to the situation. Not continue to take away from it by being negative, telling me what I already know is messed up. I send it to you with a basic assumption that you can help. You can do something about it. You can work with me too. Because of the you and your that you do see display in the agreement that you have with us. How y'all feel?
Yeah, I feel a little bit better. I feel a little bit better and a little bit more knowledgeable when you ask that question whether it's legal or lawful. Understand this legal realm. This has nothing to do with us. We don't need to figure out how to make these negotiable instruments or anything like that. That's not our job. Our job is just to let them know they can go ahead and use what we have.
Yeah, freely. Freely. At no cost to you, but at a price for them. Freely give. Gonna be selfish with my. I'm going. You can't do nothing for them commercially besides, help participate as a classified buyer in some realm or sort, so that they can take it further. How y'all feel? Let me hear y'all. Come on, talk to me.
It makes sense since we're the consumer and we're the ones that are setting all of this into motion. They can't do anything without us.
What's up, y'all? It's gonna take time and practice to stay in that mode. Y'all with me for a few hours, and y'all feel it, and y'all feel good. That ain't enough. It's not about me. It's about y'all. What y'all taking from the moment? If y'all not present in the moment because y'all worried about what y'all did do in the past, what could happen in the future, y'all not getting nothing from me in the moment. Do y'all understand? Nothing can happen here right now because you're not in realization that we're here right now. Whatever happened, happened. How can I see what they could have and contribute to that? How y'all feel? What's up, Aaron? Where you at?
Which Aaron?
Oh, it's
I
two.
know it's
No,
two,
But the
it's
girl,
A&E.
the Aaron with the E.
It's A&E. I'm here. I'm in St. Thomas, so my internet
Okay.
keeps going in and out. But I'm definitely here with you. I feel like I just need to understand who I am a little more, because like on the surface, I understand what you're saying, but the action behind
So you know what it's about?
not even the action, the expression behind
It's about your
how to
beliefs,
enforce
Aaron.
it.
It's about your beliefs. You started with say, I feel. That means from that point forward, I believe that you believe something.
Oh yeah, I know
So
something.
it's about your beliefs.
Mm.
About the faith that you had that all things can be done. For as long as it's done with the individual at my
Right. So then like with that in mind, I still I believe I know that I can, give them back what's theirs. I just
So
get
how can you help
confused
them?
at
It was
yeah,
theirs
I get confused at
already.
how to help them.
Okay.
Like I
Okay.
received something that was not mine and I need to give that back to you. But I know that we work together. And
But you
I know
see that
that
we not working together. So talk about it.
Okay, something just clicked.
Stop
So you
making
want
it hard.
so you want to take that lease agreement and you want to make it for
we don't have a lease agreement yet. That's not for us.
You said
We
appointment.
do this. We have a sales agreement. Like we're making a sales agreement. Then it becomes the lease agreement.
Exactly.
Through establishments. Establishments. Different stages. Different time. It's about y'all belief. Y'all clearly see somebody else lacked good faith and they told y'all about it. Something that they want to observe, but they cannot. How can you help them? How did you help them before? Before anything bad that y'all feel may have occurred? How did they feel you was a great help to them at the time when they was looking for you to be?
And see, when you say like things like that, like I think to the previous transaction of like me using my card, but then I also think to like me receiving the statement that's not mine, but they need me to send it back to them.
They don't need you to send anything.
Well, they
need you
need
to
me to
give.
put them on notice. Yeah.
They need you to give that notice.
Mm-hmm.
If you give something, they'll take it. If they take it, Article 1 let you know that's a purchase. But your gives them opportunities to see what they can get.
Mm-hmm.
It's a simple expressing ourselves. We're struggling with expressing ourselves, and the identities that we have in certain circumstances.
And
Everything
it's a
is
crazy thing because it's
that's
like I feel like I know I'm not a part of it, but somehow I still feel in it.
okay. Okay. So you're having a hard time describing what you're seeing.
Right.
Hmm.
Because it's
How
like
y'all
I
feel?
see it, but yeah, describing it.
So that means you have a problem with the express terms.
Okay. A light bulb just hit.
And I'm
Yes.
not about to play with you on this call. I'm done talking to y'all. It's over for the day.
I'm crying.
I'm
No,
over. Y'all
but
don't want to be present with me.
exactly.
Y'all keep doing what y'all want to do. It ain't about me. It ain't about y'all. Y'all got to think. Listen to me that y'all got the power within. Stop. Go slow at it though. You know what I'm saying? Don't necessarily stop, but y'all want to stop. Y'all want things to pass through you.
This is me.
Like how he talking right now. Shh. He expressing himself at a time where it's needed for him to shut up. Saying. No, but seriously, y'all. It's you. It's you. It's you. You are the gift. Your gift is expression. Do y'all understand?
Yeah.
Not yet, but it's gonna
Not
come.
yet, not yet.
It's starting to.
But y'all with me that things
Yes.
can be simply and easily done through you being you. Look, we haven't even got into this yet.
No, we need a whole. I feel like we need this whole spiritual movement about who we are first before we can even dive in. Really.
Absolutely, because that's what you bring to the table. A whole bunch of dead shit came, Jared. That's the opportunity that they get to evolve because you are participating in something new, something else. You do bring that spiritual element. So when you step into the power that you have and what you bring, how you can take nothing and use that thing and turn it into something. I think I just said this in my story too. We all start from nothing. Y'all weren't born here knowing what y'all need to know. So why y'all feel like y'all need to be born here knowing this? Entitled. It's not until we go within. And I realized how I did it. I sat the fuck down. I really neglected everything and everybody for about like a good year and a half. And I did it. I didn't join no classes. I didn't hear what somebody else's opinion was because I understand that it's from their point of view. And I don't know that their point of view is coming from a good place. Do y'all understand how I feel? Trust elements. Always there in all things. You gotta surrender and let go. So that you can entrust what's negotiable for another to them in another realm, a whole another world, completely different world. That you're not a part of, but in connecting to, you may be subject to it. But y'all gonna see as we get to Article 4, we get to Article 4A, they're gonna start talking about other rules may apply for individuals. Because up until a certain point, I mean, you got the power to stop it or keep it going. But that's exactly what you bring to the table, Jared. A feeling, a belief. Belief about a good. It's not by fate you got it. It's not by coincidence you got it. It's by faith. What do y'all believe in? A lot of people don't believe in God, and that's absolutely fine. You believe in what you believe in, but you got to believe in something.
Kamaya,
So I'm with you.
Eduardo's in the waiting room. If you could let him in.
Thank you. I definitely can see him.
Thanks.
Oh crap. I don't even know if I had to stop sharing for that. How y'all feel?
Oof.
I definitely feel like it's spiritual because, like, I can say for myself, I like to be in control of everything. So I think it's hard for me to like not believe that I need to be in control in this situation.
Dang, you battling with God. It's hard for you to surrender to God and let it be.
Mm,
Dang. No, that's okay. I mean, it's okay. We know God is a gift. We just don't know in what form and what way because we can't see him. It's a part
right.
of our imagination, but we can't envision how he can help
Hmm.
in all of our situations through us. It's just gonna take some time, some meditation, some focus, some going within. That's not something I can teach you. I can tell you about it like I'm telling you about it. You gotta do it. You gotta be able to come up with the words to say. I can give you the words to say. For this case, for this circumstance, for this situation. What about when it changed?
Exactly. That part.
That's why you gotta go within.
Hmm.
How you feeling, Aaron, with the A?
You just gotta be knowledgeable,
That's it.
for sure.
Yeah.
Because
You
it can happen. So many different things can happen in so many different circumstances and situations. That's why I say
possibility.
it's variation by agreement. You know.
Yeah. Possibilities. That's why you don't look at the potential error, but you pay attention more so to the potential.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you lack good faith. I mean, you worried about something bad. Why are you worried about that? Well, you should be worried about the good.
Mm. Yeah.
So as always, part one is giving general provisions and definitions. So in general, y'all can know why people feel or may feel how they feel in general about negotiable instruments, despite the fact. Always look at definitions. Always want to look at the subject matter so that you know what we about to be talking about and what it's subject to, so that your mind don't go drifting off. Because there's another side of this that we saw in 2A and 2, and another reason, for this in Article 1. So be present and understand this subject matter so that you can understand when it comes to play, why they would say something like this to you. Because they're being stopped from getting it. You can't complain about it too. Two people can't do the same thing. We got to talk about the differences. Do y'all understand?
Okay.
So subject matter, Article 3. This article applies to negotiable instruments. Period. Do you have a negotiable instrument when you get that notice?
Nope.
No.
This article applies to negotiable instruments. It does not apply to money. It does not apply to a medium of exchange that is authorized domestically or foreign in domestic and foreign governments in exchange from more than one country. This article does not apply to that. Do y'all understand?
Yeah.
Money isn't created from a standpoint of being negotiable legally, but from a lawful one. Do y'all understand?
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all understand that when y'all see a word like money, and this word was described all the way in Article 1,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
to go back there,
Mm-hmm.
they want to transact with you to create this money. You don't already got it. How y'all feel? What's y'all thought so far? What's y'all thought?
They want negotiable instruments.
So y'all should not just dive here into this article. Some things that y'all
Yeah.
need to see before, and then it's a couple of things that's gonna happen after.
Yeah, you got to start with a transaction before you can get, because this was under transaction, so you got to start with transactions before you ever get to here.
Simple. This article, it does not apply to payment orders. Payment orders are governed by Article 4A. Article 4A is speaking to this fund transfer. Article 4A govern payment orders, not Article 3 negotiable instruments. Do y'all understand? Article 4A governs Article 3. Do y'all understand?
Yeah.
That's 2 articles in the future. There's no way y'all could be sitting here talking to me about the future. or about what you did in the past if it wasn't transacting according to anything we previously been learning in these past few weeks. Article 3 does not apply to payment orders that's governed by Article 4A. Article 3 does not apply to securities. Securities is governed by Article 8. Article 4A and Article 8 is going to govern Article 3, or at least power on top of it, to where Article 3 means nothing for you. Do you understand?
Yes.
How y'all feel about the first point that they wanted to make? Let's talk about it. So that y'all won't slip up and talk to these people about negotiable instruments or anything like that. Y'all just see that they could have it. Article 3 could apply. It should apply. But only when it's in connection with other articles like 4A and 8. And maybe something in between too. Because that's just point A.
So Kamaya, when we receive the unit, it's non-negotiable until we input the terms to make it negotiable, to create a sale. Correct? Or am I wrong?
I kind of need you to clear it up a little bit. Do y'all understand what he's asking?
Okay, so when we receive, huh?
I'm listening.
So to my understanding, when we receive the document of title, it's non-negotiable. We do not have a negotiable instrument, correct? Until we're able to fill in the correct terms, right? They fill in the correct terms, and by rejecting it or dispose of it, to make that item negotiable in the future.
Yeah, so at least allow it to happen for the future. Yeah. The future is always the subject matter. When they get something legally, they can make a claim with for the future. None to a moment before. How y'all feel?
Does it come a negotiable? It doesn't become a negotiable instrument with us. This is a question.
At no point.
Right. And then we send it when we send it back with our express term and they judge it, that's when they decide if there's merchantability or not.
If it's negotiable legally or not.
It's negotiable legally. And does merchantability is there any alignment with the term merchantability and negotiability?
Assignment. Yeah, assignment. When you talk about negotiability, you're talking about a legal concept. This is through negotiation, where you are transferring and assignment. You are assigning these documents. That's what they want to do. They're going to tell you in all agreements, they're going to give an assignment. So it is connected to that. This is why you get a negotiable instrument where you can see it because of that connection. And the connections to Article 4A and 8, if the dots and everything add up. How you feel?
Makes sense.
I'm just trying to connect it to being a lease contract. And so is the lease contract itself in and of itself, once it's a exclusive lease
Why
contract,
do you want to? What you gonna do with it?
I'm just trying to understand
That's the problem. Do y'all see what she just did? This is why I had the opinion that we don't have to go no further than Article 2. Do y'all see what she did? See what the capacity she's trying to step into?
Yeah. The merchant's capacity.
Not hers.
We have nothing to do with that lease.
Right, you want to know about it though, just like people wanted to know about Article 3 negotiable instruments, and it's never theirs. You're doing it to yourself, and for as long as you're doing it to yourself, the message will be clear later. After you continue to do it to yourself and bump your head and be told no, be told no, be told no. That's when you stop and take a minute to go within and see the true, real answers. How y'all feel about that? And it's not just you in general. Everybody who struggle and had difficulties in this field. How y'all feel? Love y'all.
I think it just goes back to what I was saying about knowing who you are. Yeah.
Disempowering questions is what got y'all silent. That's why y'all don't have nothing to say to me. There's no energy flowing through that. You don't have a response. Stop doing that to yourself. It's going to take time to practice for you to practice being present. I'm not singling anybody out. This is what it is for everybody who can't see why they're in the middle of something that they technically shouldn't be, but could be because of the power that they have. If you don't see the power you got, then they're not going to see it. I'm not going to feel it. I don't see the vision. Because what you're expressing is concern. You could go to the complaint hotline. A lot of messages and stuff I see people type up for these people trying to get them to take their coupon or whatever it is. I feel like y'all should just go say that to the FTC or something because it sounds like a complaint. And those are the complaint hotlines. Go complain to them. Give solutions to others who could do something about it. Do y'all understand how y'all sound?
I do.
Well, basically, we just got the power to create, and we just need to use that.
Yeah. Start from now. New beginning. From what was to what is now.
When you do describe this like in the form of a complaint, it make it sound so bad.
So bad. It's lack of good faith like it already is. That's why they sent it to you.
So they waiting for us to give instruction. That's pretty much it.
Lift those constraints.
Yeah. We're supposed to go in there and talk that talk and give
Things
them
happen through you.
Right. Okay.
Not necessarily because you said so, but through you. You demonstrated a reflection of an offer they just couldn't turn down. You share them that they know is something that's beneficial to them and how they gonna use it. So you're gonna see in these agreements like, look, I ain't giving y'all no express warranties for y'all. I give y'all a couple of implied warranties, but even without somebody else giving it to y'all, I'm just gonna transfer it to y'all because I gave them the assignment to do so. I'm gonna follow it through and follow the direction. Y'all feel? Y'all with me? Y'all ready to continue?
We with you.
So B, if there's conflict between this article, if there's a conflict between Article 3 and Article 4, or if it's a conflict between Article 3 and Article 4 or 9, Article 4 and Article 9 governs. Article 3 ain't solving and giving no solutions to no problems and no conflicts. Do y'all understand what they just said? Between them or you and another person, a negotiable instrument ain't gonna help you create no money to secure a creditor because they don't want the FRNs that y'all probably gonna associate the money with. They don't want that. So people may see that FRN as being something negotiable or whatever, but yeah, to a certain person in a certain capacity. So Article 4 and Article 9 is going to govern Article 3. So if you want to start somewhere because you just want to go off the deep end, go to Article 4. And then you're going to be confused. But if you want to go off the deep end because you got prior knowledge or you think you already know, start at Article 4 if anywhere. That's talking about the banks collecting and depositing so that you don't get confused with thinking that you pay. Because you can't remit nothing. Banks do. Do y'all understand why they say in Article 4 and 9 govern to secure y'all transactions? Because there's nothing you can do. But give to another who follow regulations. Provisions and regulations. How y'all feeling? What's your thoughts?
It's crazy.
That statement was crazy.
It was.
What's crazy?
This is, I mean, negotiable instruments as I think about it, I'm like, okay, cool. This is the money. This is the thing that we need. And like, as you read just to open the first part of it, it's like, negotiable instruments ain't even the top. Like you still got Article 4 and you got 9 that's going to govern these transactions. And it doesn't even apply to money. So the money's not even being created with the negotiable instrument, which is what I was kind of taught and what I kind of thought a negotiable instrument was doing.
But this is why they need the assignment, Jared, because exactly what you said. It ain't that yet. Y'all talking about what y'all created, what y'all gave, y'all ain't did nothing.
Yeah, this article just showed me. Letter B just told me that go back to Article 1 and let you know that individuals are not in commerce.
Come on, man.
So this has nothing to do with you.
And they're going to be talking to us when they do. Do you understand? They're going to say it. You're gonna see it displayed individual. And y'all gonna find in Article 4 that there's some parts in there where they gonna say, but there's other rules of law that apply to individuals. And then they gonna continue on about their business, not even acknowledging you no further than that. Gonna leave you confused, like, why the fuck when they keep saying something to me after they done said this? Because they don't have nothing to do with you. It has to be able to happen through you, because of you. That's the only way. Things that they do as their things, they can't speak. So words matter. It helps give them direction and flow and, instruction. But people causing a lot of conflict with negotiable instruments. Regulations matter. Regulations, provisions, so that we create these different terms. Regulations of the Board of Governors. And then listen to, how many ofs do y'all see? Let's just start there. Before we get going, how many ofs do y'all see in Part C?
5.
Yeah. What does that say? What do that mean to y'all? What is of? When y'all hear the word of, what do y'all think?
Near, close to.
Something becoming.
Yeah. Plan to
Right
something.
there at your fingertips, but the regulation that ain't being followed right now. Right now. If the regulations apply, then surely the provisions will follow. Because of the Board of Governors. They are of the Federal Reserve System. And they're operating. They have the license, not you. You can't operate or cooperate in anything. Anything that you try to do in here is inoperative, especially if you try to steal anything. So they warn you of that. This is the Federal Reserve System, who is federally insured and is an operating circular of Federal Reserve banks. So y'all banks got a system. They're not going to break that system for y'all. Do y'all understand that?
Absolutely.
It's regulated already by individuals in different capacities. And the Federal Reserve banks, the banks bank, they supersede anything that's inconsistent when it comes to provisions of Article 3. To the extent that inconsistency applies. So yes, they are sending you a notice that's saying it may be a mistake, it may be a potential error. So that you can understand who handles that business. The Federal Reserve Bank, the U.S. banking system, one that's governed by the Board of Governors, the ones who run the Federal Reserve System. In Article 4, they clear it up so that y'all can understand what remittance is and how the fund transfer gonna be done, who deal with this remittance, who deal with the fund transfer, because it's two different things. How y'all feel? What's your thoughts? The assignment is always going to be given to the banks, and the banks bank those who is between merchants, those who's governed by regulations and provisions and conditions. How y'all feel? They supersede all of this.
I feel like what you said earlier, Click, just now, as you said, like we trying to use it as payment, and we're trying to think that the seller is making that payment, but really, I mean, we talking all the way Board of Governors, Federal Reserve is the ones that are making payment on behalf, and that's going down to whatever banks, I should say.
Because they go directly and do business directly with a bank. It's their bank. We do things indirectly, so it's only so far we could go. So things have to happen through us so that it continues to go on. And it's governed by other articles. How y'all feeling? What's y'all thoughts? Because right after this, they're going to start giving us some definitions. That's very important to the regulations of the Board of Governors. Those who's going to pay attention to what y'all want them to pay attention to. The your, the us, the bank's bank. You.
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
When you keep saying the your, the you, and that's what reason our agreement. From our perspective of the individual, what is it that we going to feel what applies to us when they're talking about you, and what's going to be applying to the seller when they're talking about the you inside those contracts?
No, the you is the individual who's going to be dealing with the Federal Reserve banks in their system. You're not dealing with that. You're not the you. You just working in connection with the yours, so it's you. Because of you, that is the only way the Federal Reserve System will get involved. They must present to them a contract that was made for an individual's purpose. If they ain't having it, it ain't no us being covered, just them.
So it's more like we authorizing the bank to release, or the Federal Reserve, or one of these big banks to release.
Yeah, like JP Morgan Chase. They done with trillions. Yeah, they done with trillions of dollars a day because that's the bank's bank. They're not local. They distributing. Yeah, they distributing. Everybody has to know that there is a big three, and everybody goes to the bank's bank, and then that bank, even you got the United States depending on that bank. It's a different regulation.
Yep.
People who understand money and the circulation of borrowing and not paying back. Truly. What's y'all thought? Y'all think y'all dealing with just maybe federal? There's a national involved. And that national ain't seeing things the way the state see it. How y'all feel?
That's why you keep trying to say federal law. You're trying to get federal laws to apply. So these big federal banks.
The ones that got the real, you know.
JP Morgan CEO said they move like $81 trillion a day.
I believe it. You got to think about it. Yeah, people do it through countries, though. You see what they sound like? Shit, we gonna let them fight over what they fighting over in the States. That's their own personal war. We gonna focus on what's happening between countries. State to handle it. That's why the state feel like they should have control of the people's money. They're like, well, give us control then. They feel like they could do better. That's just not gonna happen. Y'all don't see the state mentioned up in here anywhere as regulating anything. So get it up out of their hands. Y'all understand? Separate cases, open shell, closed. Definitions. Very important definitions. Immediately, they just get off into it. And in this article, I don't care where you go see acceptor at. In this article, in Article 3, acceptor means a drawee who has accepted a draft. Have y'all accepted the draft? When you get it at your house, when you get that notice, have you accepted that draft?
No.
Never did nothing to that yet. An acceptor is going to be the one who actually accepts the draft because they're going to begin the conversion of it once it reveals as its true self.
So once you perform?
You can go ahead, I hear you.
So once you perform, you're giving acceptance, right?
Once they perform your acceptance, you're getting acceptance. You can accept all you want, but if they didn't accept what you accept, ain't no acceptance. You ain't got this title, acceptor. They will, once they can accept that draft and convert it into a check, because drafts and checks is for office use only. How y'all feel?
Why'd you say drafts and checks are for office use only?
Goods. Life is good. Life ain't a draft. It ain't rough. It shouldn't be. People making it rough. But it's not. Truly. What you were saying, Jared, I heard you.
I was asking the question. You said checks and drafts are for office use only. I was wondering, where'd you originate that from? Or
go look at your contract. Anywhere they talk about your draft and your check, they talk about them using it. You and you're using it. Not you. If you look at the very top of a lot of car contracts, they'll let you know this is for office use only. Just checking this draft. This right here that I created originally. It's only for me to use.
Got it. Okay. I got that.
How y'all feel?
They'll
use it for an consumer account unless you say you can use it for the consumer account. What can you do? Can y'all establish any type of account? Nope. All y'all been talking about since I get in here is people stepping into their position about how they can cooperate and establish a consumer account. You can't do that. They could do it though, primarily for your purpose. This is why they will become the acceptor of a draft, something that will convert, that can be deposited into that consumer account, their account. You're not stepping into this position of a consumer. You're not no consumer. You're an individual. You may be transferring that title or looked at as treated as a consumer, but you ain't taking a loan, so I wouldn't take that title. A consumer account means an account that is established by an individual primarily for its personal, family, and household purpose. They establish an account for that, not you. You just signing off on a piece of paper so it can happen. Authorizing an agent. Yeah, I'm sharing now.
The screen share not on no more. Kamaya.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I don't know what happened. I ended up blocking me out. Before another. It's always for the seller's account. So let the seller pick up this consumer title so that they're protected under different acts for the purposes of having a contract for the individual's primary purpose. It's just that they just so happen to be using it, but primarily it's for another. Thoughts?
So you said we don't want to let them take up the title of the consumer account?
It's gonna transfer if they're gonna be the ones acting in commerce.
Exactly.
How you gonna keep it?
Okay.
You want it. People see all the access protecting consumers and they're like, "Ooh, I want that to be me." You something greater than that. That's a regulation for another person to follow right along with the board of governors. How y'all follow them over God? Y'all servicing man over God. That's what I keep hearing. And I don't know if it's because I'm going through this communication phase where I'm thinking like, yeah, it's us. I can't see it no other way. And then I'm starting to realize more and more how I can't change us, because us ain't for me to change. So I'm directing my energy towards individuals who can feel and see that. Because if not, y'all stepping into and accepting some shit that even y'all fought, and it's with fault. Don't y'all know y'all get y'all notices as is with all faults? Y'all gonna accept that. When it's for the consumer's account, making the best effort to sell it for a seller, somebody else. How y'all feeling? What's your thoughts? Y'all ready to continue?
Yes.
Yeah.
Consumer transaction. This means a transaction in which an individual incurs an obligation for a personal, family, and household purposes. So if you went out into those streets with that plastic card and you swiped it up a few times, you was entering into a transaction that will allow for a consumer transaction with another person. Somebody who established accounts for the individual who actually was in that transaction before. This is something new. This is something different. An account for another type of consumer. You're not a buyer of an account. Somebody else is. You transact using a good. How y'all feel?
Yeah.
One transaction establishes an account and another transaction establishes a good. That's what we got to before we even got here. Without the creation and the structure and the process of, it ain't none of this. How y'all feel?
So as we're making, as an individual, we're making transactions for personal, family, household use, which is establishing this consumer account. That is consumer
primarily
account
for another, but because of us. On our behalf.
Yeah, because of us. Got it.
So on your behalf, on our behalf.
On our behalf.
Those are things you will start to see.
And you said there's two accounts, so I think that was like an important part. I don't know if I caught that right, but there's going to be two accounts. There's one that, and like when we get our statement, there's that top account, and then there's that bottom account that we also need to make sure that we're.
And that's involved in dealing with the account. So they're going to be speaking to you, talking about your account, hoping that it could be established to open another account primarily for the obligation of another transaction. If not, it's never going to happen.
And that's dealing with, even when they use the word payments plural inside, because I see that in statements. It don't say send payment, like it says payments.
Purposes. So yeah, you should have got that idea. Many different purposes. People transacting for different purposes. People got this title consumer for different purposes. They gonna have the title consumer so that they can follow the military act. Military Services Act, the Fair Credit Billing Act, all the 15 USCs, everybody, they gonna follow that act because they directly doing business with the bank's bank. You just know of it. Express what you see so that it happens for you, because things are happening on your behalf as you incur debt that is allegedly yours. Using another account that was opened up primarily for you to use it personally in these streets for your family, for your house. Whatever reason you want, it was all started because of you. It's going to continue to go on through you. How y'all feel? Let me hear some thoughts. Let me get some feedback. Where the ladies at? What's up? How y'all feel? Anytime it gets too much, we can stop and we can pick up.
I'm just trying to process it all.
Yeah, it's heavy. It's really heavy.
Let it go.
Not heavy in a bad way. It's deep.
Aaron, how you feel?
I don't know how I feel because I feel like it's not for me to feel anything about it. I just, yeah, I'm kind of like everybody else. I'm like taking it in, but like not really trying to take too much in and think too deep into it that I start involving myself in it.
Okay. How y'all feeling, guys?
That's true. I mean, how she just said it could cause so much confusion.
The mirror. Those orange, those ofs. Just don't get twisted up in it. Just go along with the ride.
Start dwelling on it, looking like this got something pertaining to you in this aspect.
Yeah.
But we know off jump that this don't, because that's the first thing they said. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we have to step outside of this and give it up. Give up the titles at this point, because we did our job past creation. We started this new beginning for the jury to order that the draft is used to make payment. You see payment is due, but payment ain't been made yet. Not until order has been given. That's the using their draft. A jury means a person ordered in a draft to make payment. Who ordered in that draft to make payment? It's between somebody else, not you. So a jury is a person who is ordered. If nobody is ordered, then there is not going to be any order. Any order for a payment. Payment is going to remain due until it becomes payable. A jury means a person who signs or is identified in the draft as a person ordering payment. That spot's reserved. You may step into this position because you may be the person ordering. You should be the person ordering because you should be identifying the true purpose and intent for that document. So it's reserved. Who's going to step into that position and become and help create and be the maker of something that is identified in a note? How y'all feel? What's y'all questions right now? Y'all got any thoughts right now? Any questions?
I saw this before and I was wondering why they had reserved at 6. Like, why was 6 just reserved?
Yeah, this drawing is maker title. It's reserved for the person who's going to be ordering and is ordered. It just depends how it goes. Who's making something happen? Who's making payment due? Who's undertaking the pay? A maker means a person who signs or is identified in a note as a person undertaking to sign or to pay. I'm going to operate on the other side of the or. I'm identified in that note. I see my name there, but I'm not the one who so orders to identify the drafts and or make payment to it. Somebody else is. Undertaking, commitments, promises, that's bank business. Just connected to the note. The name or person that's associated with me is signed on that record. It's already marked on it. I see it. So this is why I get a chance and an opportunity to identify for further use, as long as I got the note to do so. That note is attached to a drive that was created by a bank, and I can make sure that it's utilized and reserved for that person. How y'all feel? Y'all with me? Y'all want me to continue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So an order. Order means a written instruction to pay money, already signed by the person given the instruction. So it's somebody else who already signed it, because there's things that's written on the document. Things that are written on the document is going to be a lot of instructions. There's going to be instructions on the face of it because they left the spot left open. And then on the back, is going to be some instructions on there. For any person who wants to sign a negotiable instrument and remit a medium of exchange, they'll follow the instructions that's so written and things that are in writing given the order. How y'all feel? The person who's undertaking and promising to pay in that section, who they may ask you to authorize for the purpose of a section or add to, it's the person who's going to be given further instructions. Giving it to it should be addressed to, like a Bailey. But it could be addressed to any person. How y'all feel? What's y'all thoughts? I ain't gonna go further. It's a little bit healthy. You know, it's a nice definition, because they're talking about two different types of order. One that's happened jointly and some that can happen separately. So how y'all feel?
So they're talking about the on the payment coupon where they say make payable to.
Yes, that's written instruction. The order already. So this is why you're not gonna be getting that bill and putting pay to the order on it. It's already written.
That makes sense.
There's an instruction after the symbol, after what was signed already.
So
Okay, and then the back instructions is once the person who's supposed to receives it and can forward it to who can actually make it payable.
Right, having it addressed to a Bailey, financial institution, someone who jointly and severely can pick up the rights and the obligations to the identified note for a particular purpose. Whether it's a cashier's check, traveler's check, whatever they need. They're going to convert that draft into a form of checks.
Yeah, I remember because when we talked about that on 2A last week, and somebody had mentioned the conditional payments address, and we kind of broke that down.
Now they let you address the ED as to who it should go to, but it could go to any person. It may. Any person. It could. If it go to any person, it should be addressed to the right person through instruction, through sign writing. Things that are already so written. Things that happen prior to. Because of an individual. Primarily. But now it's happening for them. How do y'all feel? Was about you now.
Feel good. I feel good, especially because it said it signed that in that past tense. That means it's already happened. Like they've already put all the information on there that they need in order for this to continue to go on.
And that's why I said carry on with the energy that is already done. It's already been paid. Our needs are met if all instructions are followed. You know, especially when all instructions are followed, it may not ever be an order to remit money, pay money, a medium of exchange that's authorized domestically and foreignly into other countries. I'm not getting no order for that. It may be stuck domestically, depending on the things that's written. So the instruction may be addressed to any person. This is including the person giving the instruction, or to one or more persons jointly. Got so many agreements where they talk about joint account. Speaking to persons, not parties. So as someone who may be considered or treated as a person, you have to make the decision to follow the instructions so that the correct person can be addressed. It's by way of order. So there's an alternative action. Whenever they're dealing with the account and they're given and instruction based off something that happened previously or a transaction that happened previously because of you, they haven't been a successor of anything. Not in succession yet. It's just started, created. It's just a draft. It's just an idea.